Hola, ¿cómo están todos? Estamos aquí en Divergentes 2.1 este año y otra vez con alguien que no necesita presentación. Robert Kiyosaki es el autor del libro Padre Rico, Padre Pobre y ha vendido más de 42 millones, pero más allá de eso, es un gran maestro, es un real teacher, un maestro real, alguien que realmente nos está ayudando y que nos ayuda a ver todo esto. El día de hoy tenemos a Robert con nosotros y me encantaría platicar con él y platicar con todos ustedes este año acerca de cómo hacer más con menos. Uno de los principios más importantes hoy es ser más con menos. Welcome, Robert. Welcome to be here. Thank you very much to be here this year in Divergentes 2.1.
Hola, ¿cómo está? Thank you. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's about all I know in Spanish.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Robert, to be here with us. This year, our idea is how can we teach or help the entrepreneurs do more with less?
Well, that's what entrepreneurs do. Is because if you're not doing that, you're not an entrepreneur anymore. And things are changing so fast. If you look at what we're doing right now, is I had to travel to Mexico to do this. Now we do this via Zoom. So I'm actually doing more Zoom calls and doing more conferences in a week sometimes than I used to do in a year. So it's amazing what technology is doing. But that's called ephemeralization. But if you look at historically, you've got to be doing more with less, because if you're not, you're out of business. It's that simple. And so the people who are not on this Zoom call, people who are not learning, people who are not listening, they're falling behind. And that's what's happened in America, because America, there's too many people that are lazy. It's been too easy all these years. So if you look at the way history has moved, it went from agrarian age, then it went to the industrial age, and then around 1990, it went to technology age, as the internet came up and all this stuff. And today we're now in the cyber age, or the crypto age. And the people who are not in cyber or crypto, they're going to fall behind. So there's more fortunes to be made today, but not for people thinking in the past. So that's why it's very important. I love talking to your group, simply because at least your group listens. I have people around me, as we all do, who don't listen. They think tomorrow will be like yesterday. They think yesterday will be like the day before yesterday. They don't change. And if you don't change the way you see life and the world, you're finished. So I think the next 5-10 years, by 2030, it's going to be a completely different world again. And people will be saying, well, what happened? How come I'm out of business? Or why don't I have work? Or what happened? And the reason is ephemeralization, or another principle called accelerating acceleration. It's accelerating at high rates of speed right now, and people are falling behind. And that's what's sad. So I'm glad you're listening to this talk.
Thank you, Robert. Well, all the people need to learn that the world is changing right now, and crypto is the new era for that. In this 2030, it's a complete new world, as you was teaching us for years. What is the things that we as entrepreneurs, what we need to learn about mindset, about economy, about what is that 2 or 3 or 5 things that we need to learn right now to prepare for these moments?
Well, you better prepare for 2030 today. And the reason I say that is, let me say it again. It went to the agrarian age, from the Stone Age, industrial age, information age. And information age made guys like Microsoft and all those guys very rich. And then Bezos and Amazon and all that. But there's a whole nother age that just came out around 2010. It's called the crypto age. and that's Bitcoin and all that. I'm not endorsing Bitcoin and all this. I'm just saying, so the crypto world is now invisible. You can't see it. And so actually people are getting richer and richer and richer, but you can't see it. And so the reason I say 2030 is if you look at this here, this is my iPhone. There are kids, born, they're 10 years old today. So they'll be 20 years old in 2030. And this is all they know. This is all they know. And this is the single most powerful tool for entrepreneurs ever created. So what this does, it takes the imagination of the human mind and leverage it. Well, a person like me, I'm too old right now. It takes me too long to figure this out. I mean, I'm really slow at this. Whereas a 10-year-old kid today, this is all they know. Their brains are running at this speed today. And so like guys, like if you're 30 years old today, you're always slower than a 10-year-old kid. So they're going to come up with new technologies, new ideas, new ways of doing business that we can't even imagine today. So that's why I study Buckminster Fuller, critical path, and all this. I study these generalized principles. So by studying the generalized principles, you can see the future. So the generalized principle I'm talking about right now is called ephemeralization. It's also called leverage. It's also called doing more with less. But it also means accelerating acceleration. So that's why a 10-year-old kid today using this in 2020, let's say, by 2030, they're gone. And if you're not keeping up with that 10-year-old kid today, you're out of business. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, thank you, Robert. The other thing that is just coming to my mind right now is if we start to prepare for this 2030 right now, we need to understand the cash flow quadrant very well. We need to understand what is the principles that the rich use it right now, because as you tell us, it's invisible. How can we make the invisible visible if the education is just in another way? It's not working. The education is not working right now for my kids or the kids that you are talking. It's impossible to learn what they need to need in 2030 if they are not in the real world, right?
Well, it's not your problem. It's an individual problem. Like I said, I really don't know how to use this thing. I mean, just now I was on a conference call, and I didn't know how to get on the call. That's how slow my brain is. I'm 74 years old. It's that slow. But a child that's 10 years old today, again, this is all they know. So the individual, like you and me, we've got to say, okay, what can we do today to prepare? And as you know, I've been buying gold all this time, plata e oro, because I could see what the Federal Reserve Bank was doing. So I've been preparing for today since 1972, when I was flying in Vietnam. I said, okay, they're going to mess the Federal Reserve Bank and the US Treasury and Wall Street run the world. So I don't want to play their game. So I don't own stocks, I don't own bonds, I don't use mutual funds, I don't save money. That's why Ken McElroy and I use debt, because that's what happened in 71. The dollar became debt, and taxes. So that's why Tom Wheelwright comes in, is taxes. So much of what you're going to do depends upon who your advisors are. And I'm glad you're bringing my advisors on to, have you think differently. But I see more opportunity today, but I've got to be operating into the future, or what Buckminster Fuller says, what does God want done? And if we do what God wants done, we'll be okay. So back in 1996, Kim and I started the Rich Dad Company. And obviously that's what God wants done, because we just keep growing. We did even better during COVID. But too many people want to do what they want to do versus ask what needs to be done into the future. So I just helped start a Green New Deal company. I've already made millions and millions of dollars on it. But the reason I did that is because it fits what Fuller talked about, is, that there's 4 billion billionaires on planet Earth. That's in 1980. Today, there's 7.8 billion. But we've really got to do something for everybody. And the way that the socialists and the Marxists are doing it, which is Biden and Kamala Harris, they want to take from the rich and give to the poor. That's their idea, but I would rather just make money. I'd rather teach people to be rich than take from the rich. So that's my idea. So the question I ask people, what's your idea? So the reason Rich Dad Company was founded was because we could see this future coming. Today, the gap between rich and poor is so wide, and by 2030, it'll be wider again. Those guys like Jeff Bezos and who's the other guy? Musk, they're billionaires. Soon they'll be trillionaires, because you can't see the money being made because it's in cyberspace now. So just being aware of that opens your mind. So the most important thing to ask as an entrepreneur is what needs to be done that nobody else is doing it, that God wants to do it also. So I just started Rich Dad, because we saw that's what was needed. And with that, we bought gold and silver and Bitcoin. So we just, and we don't, I'm not saying don't play the stock market. That's Andy Tanner and John McGregor say play the stock market. I don't like the stock market because I think it's rigged. So I'm a control freak. So because I'm a control freak, I run my own company. We have offices, we have thousands of cash flow clubs all over the world. Again, doing what God wants done is by teaching for free. So the biggest criminal operation are universities and colleges, because they charge so much money today and kids aren't getting a good education. So their school teachers are criminals today. So that's why in America today, I was at a political meeting the other day, and they were talking about in Arizona, the school teachers are now the enemy because they complied with COVID and they lock kids out, and they don't teach them and all this. So it's coming. The school teachers are like my poor dad. They teach stuff that you don't use. So I'm like my rich dad, and I teach what I want to learn. And I think everybody should know about money. Now, most people don't. They think that God's going to give them money, the government's going to give them money, or they work hard for money. Well, that's their right to believe that. I'd rather make my own money. I'd rather print my own money. I'd rather be the Fed. I'd rather be the bank. I want to be Wall Street, but that requires study.
Well, thank you, Robert. Yeah, I remember that years ago we was in Phoenix with you. I was with you, and I remember that the new money is knowledge. That's the phrase that you teach us. And I believe that right now this phrase is live again. Is knowledge is the new money, really, to understand what happened right now, right?
Right. And it's going to keep expanding. What is money is going to keep expanding due to technology and network effects. Back when we started, network marketing was really big. Well, networks are still big. And McDonald's is a franchise network, and cash flow clubs are a network. So the people that cooperate and grow networks will do very, very well. So it's just a matter of what you think. The hardest thing to do, as you know, is getting rid of old ideas. It's so easy to stay with the same old ideas, like go to school, get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, invest in the stock market. Or I do this because my daddy used to do it, my mommy used to do it. Your old ideas are the problem most of the time.
Yeah, and for the future, I believe the other secret is that you need to understand what is your team or who is in your team. Really, as you was telling us, maybe I don't have 100% how this iPhone works. Really, I'm Tyrannosaurus Rex in this space, like you was telling us. But the power of the team in 2030 will be one of the masterpiece, right?
Yeah, your team and your network, teachers. So that's why I'm just going to ask you to think. Just think differently. Don't listen to stupid people. And there's a lot of stupid people out there. So I don't, people say, should I invest in real estate? I said, I don't know. Why don't you figure it out for yourself? Kenny McElroy and I have lots of real estate. And people say, well, how do you, should I pay taxes? Well, you should pay taxes, but you can also not pay taxes legally. That's where Tom Wheelwright comes in. This is all over the world. But the average person, especially people who went to school, think they're smart. The thing that's sad about poor people is they think they're stupid. And, that's one of the biggest problems at school is that people leave school terrified of making mistakes. People leave school terrified of looking stupid, so they get more stupid. And I was just talking to a woman today, and she was giving me her ideas on men. I said, well, good, that's your ideas. And she wanted me to agree with her. I said, well, I agree, but so what? All too often, what we think is smart is what we agree on. Like I always talk about, definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And if you don't agree with me, you're stupid. And if you're going to see the future, I suggest you let everybody be smart. Listen to their points of view. Like, I don't agree with Black Lives Matter, but they got their point of view. They're talking, and Black Lives Matter is Marxist. I mean, it's on their website. They're a Marxist organization. Same as critical race theory, they're Marxist. And that's fine. You want to be a Marxist, be a Marxist. But now they want to change history. And I think it's kind of funny is that, I was called a white supremacist. And I looked in the mirror and I said, I'm still not white. But people have gotten so used to calling names and, making people feel bad. I'm just saying, think, and one of the generalized principles is, Alfredo, is unity is plural at minimum two. What that means is all coins have three sides. And intelligence, you stand on the edge, you look at both sides. But our school systems teach us to only look at one side as right, the other side is wrong. And that's why school teachers are the most stupid people I ever met in my whole life. When I was in school, I said, well, I don't want a job. Well, you got to have a job. You got to have a job. You got to pay taxes. Now I have this technology, the less you have to do that. This is the most powerful tool, and its real power will not be felt for another 10 years. That's when this generation was 10 years old today, they become 20, and you'll see the world change again. What is going to change you? I don't know, but I'd be watching out for it. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you very much, Robert. Yeah, well, the decision is in your hands. You need to decide if you are ready to change, and this need that you open your mind. Well, thank you very much, Robert. Yeah, well, I have different ideas here. Just take notes as always, learning, and something that really appreciate of you and Blair and the whole team is that you always push us to be better. I never have the answer from you. Never. You always say, study test, do it. I remember sometime when I was like, I don't know, like 12 years ago, I asked you, I need to invest in real estate, and you start to laugh and say, I don't know. Say, wow, what? You don't give me the answer, and you never give us the answers. And I believe that it's something that we need to share with the people. You need to find your own answer. And I love the things that you was telling us. You need to discover what is the purpose that God give you, not something that I need to tell you. Thank you very much, Robert. You like to close this space with some ideas for the people right now that we are in this Divergentes 2.1 this year?
Yeah, well, a big word today is because they have, everything called the cancel culture and all that stuff. That's nuts. It's. I mean, they're free to say it, but culture really means study. That's all it means. Cult and culture means this is what you study. So, like the Catholics study Catholics, Jews study Judaism, Buddhists study Buddhism. They're cults. And so the rich dad is a culture of study. And too many people just want to get rich quick. So they never study. And they don't see what's coming down the road. And I just leave a warning, 2030, it'll be a completely different world again. Because 10-year-olds, this is all they know. And this is the most powerful tool ever created. There's more power in this than all the mainframes in the world. And when the young kids get a hold of this, the world's going to change. So you may as well get ready for it now. That's why I buy plata, oro, and Bitcoin, because money is obsolete. We're going to crypto money. We're going to go to, Bucky Fuller predicted crypto. He predicted YouTube and all this stuff. So the best teachers now are on YouTube, not in schools. And we teach for free. So it's all changing. But if you have old ideas, you're going to say, well, I think I'll go back to school so I can get a job. Well, that's an old idea. Not that it's a bad idea, it's an old idea. That's all I'm saying. So, thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Robert. As always, we learn a lot. And thank you. I believe that the idea for the whole entrepreneurs is you need study. Rich Dad was created just for these moments. It's the only thing that I have in my brain, and play cash flow games, because is the way that you change your mind. Thank you very much, because you changed my mind 15 years ago, and right now I'm changing that again. It's like it's like a game that never ends.
Yeah, you'll still play the cash flow game in 2030.
Yes,
just different businesses. The game will stay the same, but the technology, the crypto will be different. The game is the same.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the people that it's watching this summit, and thank you to be here in this Divergentes 2.1. Thank you very much, Robert, again, for your time and for your knowledge. And the only thing to thank you very much to be you, because always you are who you are. You never need to be another people or be nice with somebody. Just you do the things that in the way that I like. Maybe for another people don't like it, but it's fine, because it's not good or bad. It's just the things what it is what it is. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you. Thanks.